Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sethi and Frenzy here, and today I am going to attempt to repot this lovely Birdnest fern, which I found, well, not I found, my dad found in the trash bin that someone threw out, and it looks fantastic. So I'm gonna go and grow these, and yeah. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My channel is all about plants and succulents and how to grow and how to care for them. And if you're the regulars, welcome back. So without further ado, let's just start, potting up this lovely Birdnest fern right here into its new home. So let's go. Alright, so what we are going to need in order to repot these two Birdnest fern right here is, of course, you want to have some gloves. That's the first thing. You want to have some trays to mix your sphagnum mixture, and of course you need some sphagnum moss, you need some cocoa peat. This is my style of creating a soil medium that holds water. Now I'm gonna have two pots here, so I have one pot right here that has no drainage holes and a little bit of normal soil mix with perlite, and one pot which is smaller for the smaller one. So of course you need your water as well to mix your sphagnum mixture. You need some tools right here to split the two plants. One is a clipper and the other is, of course, your spade right here. Alright, that's pretty much it, so let's start. Alright, so I have here prepared a little plastic bag just to dispose the biodegradable pot that it's in originally. So I really, like to take in plants that people throw out because they don't know how to care or they lose hope for caring them. I take them in and I grow them for my own. Now, if you can't really get them open, you can always use your clippers. That's another best way to do it. So as you can see, the mixture here is fully sphagnum moss, and you can see some of the sphagnum moss actually grew back, but it's not really looking the best, and I do not want to have any of the old sphagnum moss in here. Like, I try not to, because I do not want to bring in any pest or things. So how am I gonna remove this is pretty simple, I guess. You just have to tear it in half. I'm gonna do that real quick. Now, I'm not really a plant expert, and I'm just doing this to make sure the plant gets its own spot to grow. So I know those people be like, oh my god, what are you doing? You're not supposed to tear it off like this. But I'm sorry, but this is the way I try to separate my plants in a very not professional way. So I'm just gonna do a time lapse for you guys, just splitting this entire plant from its original patch of soil. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the two little plantlets here, these two ferns, are all cleaned. I just run it through a little bit of water, and I just have to remove most of the soil, the sphagnum moss and the top layer of it, because it's just infested with algae, which I don't really want to introduce it to my new medium here. Same goes with the smaller plantlet. In fact, the smaller one had more plant algae that I don't really want to introduce to my new soil medium. It's literally all over in the crown. You could see it all up in there, which is just not nice. So yeah, I already cleaned it, run it through a little bit of water. So we're gonna set these aside. And also, we have a little baby. Look at that. I'm gonna put these this whole family of stuff aside, and now we're gonna deal with the sphagnum moss and cocoa peat mixture. So let's start by getting our sphagnum moss, of course. We want to take some. Now, I'm not really promoting any brands here, but this is the brand that I constantly use for, all kinds of mixtures, especially when they will need to retain water. And try to remove the excess twigs and sticks, like all these. You do not want them in your sphagnum mixture. I hate the feel of it, and I don't really like to see it sticking around in the soil, so I'm just gonna take it out. Hey, get it? Stick it around. You're taking off sticks? Okay, no, not a joke? Okay, never mind. Yeah, all these fibrous sticks, I'm gonna take them out, just dispose them. I could be wrong, these are roots. Yeah, these are stems. You can see these twigs here, we do not want them. We're gonna take them off. I personally like to cut them up to make them less chunky, and also they could act more like a soil base. So I'm just gonna chop them up, make them more little right now, and I'm just gonna go and do a time lapse for you guys. Alright, so we got all of our sphagnum moss all chopped up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of water, and I'm going to just use my hands. I'm not going to use the gloves. I know I said you have to use a glove, but you can use it if you want to. I'm just not going to do it this time. I rather use my hands to feel how moist the soil is. So yeah, let's just do that. We're just going to make sure our sphagnum moss is spongy and moist enough. Not too moist to the part where it looks like soup. That is the thing that you do not want to deal with. You want to make sure it is moist, but not too moist to not be able to function with it. So here it is. This is the mixture for just one of the pots. I have no idea how much I need, so I'm probably going to make another extra batch for the smaller pot, but this is the one for the big pot. Alright, so let's just move on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to have my little bit soil mix here. This is with perlite, a little bit of lava rock, and a little bit of soil, just to mix it into the mixture to, give it more texture for the roots. And this one is going to be for this bigger fern right here. The smaller one, I'm going to put it in here. So it's adorable, and it looks like a succulent because the shape of it just has the succulent shape. It looks like an aeonium. Anyway, sidetrack. I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of cocoa peat. So I'm just going to pour the cocoa peat into the soil mixture here first. You can always add more depending on how much you have and how big of a pot you're using. Alright, so we got a cocoa peat in here. Now we're going to mix it with our sphagnum. After mixing it, it will look a little bit gross, but it's the mixture that these ferns, these beautiful ferns, need to be in. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I'm just mixing it in, making sure I break up all of the moss and making sure it mixed together with the cocoa peat mixture. That way we don't have clumps and it's uneven, and sometimes it holds too much water in one area and the other area will not get enough. So I want to make sure you get the even amount. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water in here as well to have more of a moist mix. I'm doing now is I'm just pushing it all on the side, and I'm gonna get my fern here and just tuck it in. Or you could just get your hands and wrap it around the root ball of your fern. So I think I need more sphagnum moss for this, so I'm gonna finish up this pot and the other smaller pot and show you the final result. So here it is. This is the 2 potted up Birdnest fern, which looks so cute. Isn't this pretty? So I'm just gonna share a little bit tips on fern. So apparently fern, you cannot give it full sun. You can't give them too much water or too little water. You must make sure the sphagnum moss mixture here is still moist, but not too moist till it rots, and too dry that it dries up the roots and the plant just shrivel up and die. Like I said, you can't put this in full sun, so you can only put it on a north facing window. If you do not have a north facing window, that's okay. Just make sure it does not get full sun. You can put it near a windowsill or somewhere with low light, but at least have 1 hour or 2 sunlight a day for these lovely ferns, because they do still need light to photosynthesize and grow. Now these are still juvenile, so they're tiny little babies of fern. So if you want them to grow into a massive lush pile of leaves, you technically have to make sure they get enough love when they're little babies, and when they are old enough and they grow up to a much larger size, they can just require no attention on help, just on watering and making sure they get enough moisture. And for humidity wise, you must make sure your humidity is good enough, basically like I think 40 to 60% humidity for these fern to survive indoors. And yeah, you must not let your humidity to be too dry as well. They are tropical plants, so they don't really like the dry feel. And these ferns specifically, they don't feed off live plants, so they are not really a pest. So they don't count as pests, and they only feed on broken down matter in the soil out in nature. So yeah, they love to be on the ground. They sometimes grow on trees, but most of the time they grow on ground, and they will become this lovely giant leaf structure that looks like a bird nest. That's the reason why they call it the Birdnest fern, which looks absolutely stunning. It could be a lovely statement piece in your living area as well, because it just gives that lovely lush green look. Now I think this could be the frilly variety. So how do you tell if it's a frilly variety? Is basically you can see by the leaves, they are starting to have a little bit of the wavy look. There is another normal fern which is much more straighter. They don't go wavy like that. They are just flat, long, large leaves, which are pretty nice as well. These are not toxic. They are not toxic to humans. They are not toxic to pets, so it's okay to have them around. Some ferns can be actually toxic to people and pets, so be aware of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy this lovely video of repotting and rehoming them into their new pots of these Birdnest ferns. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and click the notification bell down below for new videos. weekly. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.